for the crust. Okay, there's one. Normally make 2 of these at a time, one to share and one to keep. Spoon of cinnamon for 2 crusts, and a half a cup of powdered sugar, 12 tablespoons of butter. Mix it up. Okay, here's what we got. A little more than 1/3 in each one. Saving a little bit for the graham cracker crumbles. Pat it down the best you can with a fork. Of the same size to pat it down and finish it off. Okay, there's what I started with, and that's ready for the oven. While that's baking, we'll go ahead and start the filling. Break them into a cup first. Make sure there's no eggshells. They're easier to get out when they're in the cup than when they're in the blender. So, 2 eggs. A package and a half of cream cheese. Set it out so it's a little soft. It'll make the job a little easier. This time I didn't leave it out, so it's a little more solid than I like it to be. And I can be a little sloppy with this because I'm going to mix it all up in the bowl when I'm done. Half a cup of sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla, and a half a teaspoon of salt. I got a whole teaspoon there, so I'll put in about half of that. And I've done this enough times, so I know it's not going to go over the top, but you should put your top on so that you don't want to excessively run it because it will whip air into it, and you don't really want any air in there. Just want to get it good and homogeneous. Okay, there's one. We'll do the exact same thing again with another set of ingredients. You don't need to get it all out this time. I don't know about you, but whenever I see cooking shows and they just dump all the things in from a cup already, I kind of feel I'm losing some of what they're doing. Vanilla or thereabouts. Cream cheese, the other set, and one of the reasons I make 2 is because of the package size. I don't want to go have a half a package left in the refrigerator. And this does freeze well. The only problem with freezing, if you can call it a problem, is that the crust will become soggy. And also the crust will become soggy if you don't let it cool down all the way once you take the crust out of the oven before you put in the filling. Half a cup of sugar and a half a teaspoon of salt. The crust is almost ready to come out, but like I said, we don't want to put this in there till it cools off all the way, because it's nice to have a crunchy crust. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't clean the bowl from the graham cracker crust. A little bit of graham cracker crust won't be noticed. Okay, it's ready to go into the cooled crust now. The crust has cooled down. It took about maybe 15 minutes. Now you pour this in. And we're going to bake this for about 30-35 minutes at 375. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but everybody's oven's a little bit different. Ready for the oven. Now for the sour cream topping, because the container sizes just aren't quite right. So this is a little more than 2 cups. When the official recipe calls for about 3 cups, I've kind of modified this to the container sizes. Like I say, I'm making enough for 2, so 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a little extra for good luck. For 2, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a half a cup of powdered sugar. And I'll whisk that up and wait. I guess if you really wanted to, you could do this in a blender, but it's easy enough, almost done. Easy enough to do just with a whisk and a nice bowl like this. Cooled out enough to put the sour cream topping on. They'll go in the oven for about 5 to 6 minutes at 425. cool off a little bit, dust them with cinnamon. Do this also before the sour cream topping. Let them cool off all the way before you put them in the refrigerator. Don't wrap them till they're cool. Use blueberries or strawberries, but pineapple is a little more interesting. Cut the core out, and then slice it up into bite-sized chunks. Actually, I got this one just in time. I better eat it quickly, but I'll take some of this off here. Of course, I'm not going to show you all that, but put that in the blender and make a little bit of puree and add some sugar to that, just enough to sweeten it up to taste, because you never know how much sugar. It depends on how sweet the pineapple is. This one's pretty sweet. And then mix that up, put that over the cheesecake with a little bit of whipped cream and the graham cracker crumbles, and it's ready to serve. Start out by putting a little bit of the graham cracker crumbles on it. Then we'll dump our pineapple cubes into the puree. And I'm doing it a little different because I'm doing it by one slice at a time. Usually we'll pour this all on the cake to begin with. Okay. Strawberries. I never want to do this too soon because the water in the fruit will make the crust a little soggy. Yeah, blueberries are my favorite. This is one way I can get my fruits